Well, it was yet another defeat for the Wales men's national rugby team, this time to Japan. Things not looking good at all. Their losing streak in international rugby just goes on and just gets worse for everyone involved with the Welsh setup in international rugby. For such a proud rugby nation, this is perhaps one of the darkest times in their history. The amount of losses they've had in a row now is quite unbelievable for a nation who prides themselves on absolutely loving rugby and it being one of their national sports. So where do they go from here? I think that's the question that everyone, supporters, players, fans, obviously supporters as well, executives, chiefs, coaches, that's what they're all asking when it comes to the Welsh national men's rugby team in terms of just how they stop the rot and also how they not only stop the rot but then progress and actually start to get better once again, because it's not just about making things mediocre and just getting the odd wins. It's about making them and establishing them as a dominant force in world rugby once again, something they've not been for far too long now for a country, as I say, who loves rugby so much. So let's go now to our Wales sport correspondent Charles Haig-Jones. Charles, just firstly, what's the feeling after that Japan loss? Secondly, where do the Wales go from here after yet another defeat? And thirdly, what can be done to stop the rot, and not only stop the rot, but create progress from this point onwards?
Yeah, obviously not the start at all that they'd have wanted with their 18th consecutive Test defeat now against Japan, losing 24-19 after surrendering a 19-7 half-time lead as well. Their world ranking has dropped to 14th, the lowest it's ever been. So for Welsh rugby, it's not somewhere you really want to be. And I mean, it's sort of contrasting to Welsh football as of that, which we've obviously covered loads of. The Wales women making their tournament debut and a major. Wales men are looking fantastic under Craig Bellamy. It's now suddenly the sort of rugby side of things in Wales that has been suffering as of late. And it's been this whirlwind, this from top to bottom. We've mentioned before the problems with the WRU and where that sort of lies as well. And that sort of stems right from off the pitch, and then it sort of comes through onto the pitch as well. And Matt Sherratt has come in, and he's emphasised that a victory in the second Test could be the start of something. And he's sort of really, you've got to give Sherratt credit, because he constantly is looking at the positives. He's looking at where they can build and the stuff they maybe got right throughout that game. And despite it being a crushing loss, another 18th now, it stems way further than a year, this record back. It's something they need to get right. And in terms of improving the areas, the stuff they need to maybe work on in terms of that second game, I mean, Japan's second half dominance exposed Wales's stamina issues that they've had, especially under the hot and humid conditions that they knew they were going to have to play in. They have to take action. They have to rotate wisely. They have to condition the players in the heat chambers in preparation. There's certainly going to be no time off now for this Welsh group. They're going to go in. Obviously, the British and Irish Lions tour suffered in terms of only 2 Welsh players selected. That sort of shows where Welsh rugby is at the moment. So they have taken an incredibly strong side on this tour. See the crucial penalties at key moments, on the 10-metre line. It just shifts momentum. It really plays into Japan's favour, obviously the home side as well. They need to tighten defensively disciplined situations and cut out that sort of unnecessary breakdown of penalties as well. And then, set pieces as well, the scrums and line-outs are vital to disrupt Japan's possession flow, because Japan are a side that really play with that flowing ball forward situation. They maybe need to look at experiencing pushing forward experienced players like Talupe Faletau at number 8 and Josh McLeod as well to stabilise physical exchanges. But I think overall handling the conditions a bit better. Really making sure that squad's full of youth and experience as well, getting that balance right. And hopefully Wales can turn it around and end this torrid run, because it's really starting to affect a lot of things in terms of Welsh rugby and reflect the deeper issues with the organisation at the moment.